Well, the city of Bloomington has launched a 5-year sustainability action plan, and one of its first strategies centers on food. Business of Health reporter Kylie Valletta has the story. Kylie.
Thank you very much, Gary. Bloomington's appetite for improvement has set the table for the city's Year of Food campaign. The new effort has two main goals: address hunger in the community and increase economic opportunities for local farmers. Communications Director for the City of Bloomington, Yael Cassander, joins me now to tell us about the next steps. Thanks for coming to the show.
So happy to be here, Kylie. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Bloomington is known for its food. It has a great local food scene, international restaurants, the state's largest farmers market. How did that food culture open the door to this Year of Food campaign?
Yeah, you are absolutely right. Bloomington is rich. There's almost an embarrassment of riches, really, but that doesn't necessarily tell the whole story. There are a lot of people who are living in poverty in Bloomington. There are people who have limited access to nutritious and healthful food. So this initiative is building upon an array of resources that are already in place that are part of that robust food culture we have in Bloomington. And these are a lot of social service agencies, also researchers and advocacy groups that are working hard to address issues of hunger in Bloomington and Monroe County.
So two main goals. The first, addressing hunger, as you've talked about. How are you going to fight the local hunger? What do those steps look like?
Well, as I mentioned before, we do have already a very rich infrastructure of organizations that are working hard to deal with these issues, whether they are the food pantries we have. The Hoosier Hills Food Bank is one. Also Mother Hubbard's Cupboard, a number of organizations that believe, as we do at the city, that access to nutritious and healthful food is a basic human right. And so what we're going to do with this Year of Food initiative, which is just the launch this year and is going to continue for a number of years, is to build upon that existing infrastructure and to work in tandem with IU, where there are researchers who are applying their expertise, whether it's anthropological or biology, to the problem of food insecurity through such initiatives as the Sustainable Food Systems Science Initiative.
And you talked about poverty, and there's two food deserts in Bloomington as defined by the USDA, and one of them includes the IU campus, which is eye-opening. Most people don't think of college students when they think of people facing hunger.
Yeah, it's an excellent point, Kylie. It's really important to debunk some of these myths that we have about who's hungry, that is, who's food insecure, who's living in poverty. The fact is that IU does have students who are dealing with food insecurity. One of the initiatives that is quite recent is the IU Crimson Cupboard, where if you're an IU student, all you need to do is show up. If you're a single student, you can go there once a week, obtain 13 food items per visit. So there are initiatives like that that are dealing with food insecurity, that is, in places where you wouldn't necessarily expect it.
So there's a business piece to this too. For local farmers, how are you hoping to help their bottom line?
Well, local farmers are connecting with individual purchasers and restaurants at our storied farmers market, the largest in the state. However, what part of this initiative is doing is to create a larger market for those farmers so they can depend on larger institutional buyers. So there's going to be the hiring of a value chain coordinator to kind of serve as a matchmaker between some of those local growers and the larger institutional buyers to guarantee a market to make that food network more resilient.
Well, great campaign, really making some important connections. Thank you for being here today.
You're welcome, my pleasure.